Bulls have been busy signing trade deals to bring in Lonzo Ball as well as DeMar DeRozan. So obviously beefing up that offense. You already have Zach LaVine and Nick Vucevic there. They added our friend Osmo, Alex Baker's doppelganger, Alex Caruso from the Lakers. So he's in the fold as well. So the odds there on the DK Sportsbook, Matt, what have they been doing?
It's pretty similar to the Knicks, actually. And I think this is a kind of the same situation where you have a team that made tangible improvements, but their starting point was that they were vastly overrated. So while they're in playoff contention now and maybe could win a round in the playoffs, the starting point was a team that just was overachieving last year. The Bulls did trade for Nikola Vucevic last year, but it didn't really even seem to help them that much. And there were still a lot of holes on this roster. So they were around 100-1 also for much of the offseason. Now they're down to 60, which is a bit ahead of the Knicks. But again, like there was a huge gap between these teams and the top contenders in the East. Like the Brooklyn Nets are plus 220 to win the championship. And then there's a handful of teams in between before you get to the Bulls and Knicks. So these are teams that it seems like made improvements to get themselves into the playoffs. Maybe they're a little bit delusional about how good they are, but for both of them, I think it's pretty likely they can be playoff teams now, but it's going to be a little unreasonable to expect too much more than that.
Nick, do you like these moves?
I do. I think on paper, if the goal is to just get like somewhere between the 4th and the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, then the Bulls have absolutely locked themselves into that range. And to be fair, it's not like they could have gone out and got LeBron James or Luka Doncic or Damian Lillard. Like these were the moves that were on the table for them. And I think they put together the best team that they could, given the circumstances. But the way that the NBA is constructed right now, where you have a defending champion with arguably the best player in the world in Milwaukee, you have a super team in Brooklyn, you have a borderline aging super team in LA. Like there's a lot of years over the last 20 to 30 NBA seasons where this Bulls team would arguably be the best team in the NBA, but the amount of talent that you have stacked elsewhere kind of knocks this team down a little bit. And even though you like all the pieces individually, like Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, having Patrick Williams, Alex Caruso, Kobe White, those guys coming off your bench, like that all sounds pretty good. But again, when you compare it to what the elite teams have in the NBA, then you kind of realize like, this is maybe a team that could push for 50 wins in the regular season if everything breaks right. But, again, you're not going to pick them over the Nets. You're not going to pick them over the Bucks. I think they're firmly in that, probably the bottom of that second tier with Philly, Miami, Atlanta. They're probably 3rd or 4th in that group.